What if the goal isn't going back to who you were, clinging to old identity instead of building a new life? Today, we're going to talk about redefining happiness after your diagnosis. We're gonna just redefine happiness now that we have MS. After our diagnosis, we're gonna learn what brings joy, how to redefine joy, and creating meaning in changed circumstance.
This is a skyscraper. Are you serious? Where's my elevator? This is ridiculous.
Tim, when did you realize you weren't going back to your old self?
Let's see. I would have to say when it got real, when it really became real for me, is when I had to go on disability from work. Well, I had to do it twice, but I went on short-term disability. I had a relapse. I couldn't walk. I was having spasms on my left side, and so I had to intense physical therapy, exercise support to get back up to walking. It took me about 6-7 months. I returned to work, but of course, everything wasn't back 100%. And through that experience, I kind of realized, I don't think I'm gonna get it all the way back 100%. Despite how hard I had been working, to get back to work, and it was kind of devastating, not kind of, it was to realize that you're gonna have to always do things differently than how you've always done them up until this point. It was a tough pill to swallow. But I would have to say that whenever I had to go on short-term disability, the first time.
I understand. Wow.
How about you?
That's powerful. I'm trying to sit in that right quick because I don't think I knew that.
Yeah. That first time, boy, I was just like, dang.
Wow.
And then they were telling me, my neurologist, they were telling me that, you may not get everything back 100%, although you're making progress, And I was just like, no, I'm going to get it back. I'm still going to be able to. And then I had to realize that, y'all are right about this. I'm not going to get it back. So then I had to shift my focus to, well, I just want to function better. I don't want, after you fight with yourself, fight with the disease, fight with your reality, fight with your circumstance, then you're like, okay, well, if I'm going to have this, how then can I just live with it, deal with it? Mm-hmm. That way I can still live, know?
Right. Wow. That's a lot. I mean, like literally you have a before and after. And that was
So do you.
I do have it. And
so do you.
It's very life-changing. My before and after came when I don't really have a specific one.
Right.
That rocked my world where I was like, okay, this is when I realized I have relapsing remitting. So it gave me more cushion to continue to live more on my terms. What I mean was my relapses weren't as aggressive. And so my life didn't stop, but it totally was readjusted. I've always realized it like from the very beginning. But the point in the disease that I think was the point of grief and hurt and you really have this is when I had to come to grips with I'm not going to be a mom in that way.
That'll do it. Yep.
Because before that, I was like, okay, I can handle this. I can adjust to this. I can adjust to that. I can alter that. One of my friends, we're really good friends. We've been friends over 30 years. And we always laugh because we were in pharmacy school together and we were like, we just handle it. Like this happens, we'll just handle it. But that's the one thing I couldn't handle. I couldn't handle it. And I think that's when I knew I had MS. I knew what it was. I knew some of the implications. I had been living with it. But the one that stopped me in my tracks, that took my breath away, was the realization that I'm not going to be able to do this. Not that I'm not going to be able to do this physically. I could have done it physically, but I could not have done it prudently. I could not have done it safely with guaranteed good outcomes. I could not have done it well for the life of the child or children I did not know. So that, I think that was my gut punch moment, or my when I realized moment.
Yeah. I can only imagine coming to terms with that reality, and having to make that decision despite your desires and hopes and dreams, and that's tough. And I'm sure we have listeners out there who are in that space or having to make that decision. And we know how difficult that is, how life altering that is. And so we just want to offer just support, and we hope that this space, that you'll understand that we understand and that we get it. And if you don't have anybody to talk to about it, talk to us. Like, comment, engage with us, and we'll be here to support you.
When you have this disease, you will have moments of, I just hit a wall,
Oh yeah.
So
For sure.
that happens. So let me ask you this. When you realized you weren't going back to your old self, what did you actually have to grieve? Or better yet, let me ask it like this. You realized you weren't going back to your old self. Grief was coming, whether you called it that or not. Grief was coming. Did you grieve everything at one time, or did you grieve things in order? Like, did it come to you like, oh my goodness, I won't be able to have this, I won't have this, I won't have this, I won't do this, I won't do that. Did you experience that? Or did they say, shoot, I mean, everything at one time? Everything is gone.
Yeah. Well, it took me a minute to realize what grief was, and that what I was feeling was grief. I had to learn that. I knew that it was something. I didn't know what it was, but I think I had to grieve my old life. And after I felt like I kind of got a hold on that grief, then I realized that I also needed to grieve the life I thought I was going to have in my mind too. So it's kind of like a two-part thing. Yes. So I went through the first bout and I was like, okay, I'm getting through it. But then I'm like, snap, even beyond the stuff that I used to do, now thinking forward, I'm not going to be able to do, those things either. Or, it was just a twofold thing for me. And having to first understand what I was feeling was grief, then grieving my old life, and then now having to grieve the life I thought I was going to have, kind of extended. I think I was grieving for like 2 years, maybe, but once I was able to get through that, and acceptance, I think, kind of brought me through accepting the reality of the situation. I was able to recognize, understand that it was grief, and give it the proper space and healing. I wasn't trying to keep it down. I wasn't trying to, once I realized, I wasn't trying to ignore it. I wasn't trying to, not feel it. I had to bring it up and feel it so that I can move forward. And that is work. It takes work to do that. And I encourage, all of our listeners, viewers, to explore grief, really explore it. Because on the other side, it's such a freeing thing once you get on the other side. But you got to go through it, and it's tough.
It is.
It's tough.
You said something that was so powerful that actually goes into me. What did I have to grieve? I grieve the life that I had planned for myself.
And what the Bible say?
What?
Well, I forget the actual verse.
It's okay. But it's
I can't remember.
It's basically like a saying. Don't make plans, because when you make plans, it makes God laugh.
Right.
That's not a Bible verse, but that is a saying. But
that's a saying.
Yes, but the fact that I had to come to grips with the fact that I'm not the same, and the life I wanted, or the things I thought I was going to do, maybe
are in jeopardy.
Maybe not. Right.
Yep.
It's not that I couldn't, but could I? Things like that. So I was very unnerved, and I grieved that.
Yeah, man. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think
it's not easy.
It's not easy, but
I think it's essential.
It's essential, and we encourage you to find a grief counselor. I mean, we're here to listen and talk, but we're not counselors.
No, not at all.
But to find professional help, somebody to help you get through the grief, you and your family get through the grief, because the grief is coming, whether you call it that or not. It is coming because it's inevitable. Who you were is not who you will be, but you also got to live with who you are right now. And so having a professional help you is vital. Not just you and your parent, not just your parents, I'm sorry, you and your family.
Right.
So I think that's essential. But yeah, that was really good, Tim. What does happiness look like for you now? We've been through the valley. Now we're coming back on the other side. What does happiness look like?
Happiness.
Yes.
Man, like I said earlier, first, man, my son just brings me so much joy, just watching him grow and being able to correct him and to teach him. And, he's funny, to experience his humor, I'm just happy about that. He makes me happy. It's difficult, but he makes me happy, brings me so much joy. So that's first and paramount. Also, because I can't move and go as fast as I always have, I have found joy and happiness in the stillness and quietness and the space. That is a much part of who I am now. And, I'm really enjoying the calmness of things. Once you get through all the grief and sludge and mud and all the emotional stuff, and I don't even know if you ever always get through it all. Once you do some of that heavy emotional lifting, for me, I found joy and the comfort of being who I am today, and not trying to still be, not trying to perform. Just this is it. This is who I am.
That's pretty cool. You found happiness in yourself. That is so cool.
Myself.
That's pretty awesome. And in your son, that is so sweet. Let's see. Happiness for me is, I think I didn't realize this made me so happy, but I love to achieve. That happens to be something that I really enjoy.
Yeah, you've always been like that. Yeah.
I love to achieve. And so now what's making me happy is like us doing this podcast. This makes me happy.
Yeah.
The planning, getting everything ready, the prayer before we start, the thought of the people that we're serving, that makes me happy. Because yes, I do like to achieve, but I also love to pour into people. That's what I did as a profession. I know you guys think pharmacists are people who work behind counters. I was a clinical pharmacist in a hospital. Well, when I say was, like, I backed out of that because now I'm doing this. But I did it for 28 years. But my passion, my heart is to be front and center, looking patients in the eye and explaining to them what's happening and how what I'm doing is going to benefit them. And so now I'm doing it on a different stage. I'm no longer in a hospital. I'm talking to you here on a microphone. And that makes me so happy to feel like I'm speaking in someone's ear and giving them hope and comfort. I'm addressing what they actually feel or what they hear in their mind, but I'm also saying you will get past it. Not past it as in forget it, but there is like a good side to this. Joy is coming. And so that makes me happy.
Yep. It's not all doom and gloom. It feels like that.
Right.
But there's sunshine. You just gotta do the work. Just do the work.
Let me ask you this. What expectations did you release to get to this?
Oh yeah, man. Performing. I think my biggest tool now is the word no. No. Sometimes hell no. But I found power in saying no, not because I don't want to do it, not because I don't want to contribute or help or not. It's just that now I know myself to understand my limits. In order to live healthy and thrive, I've got to say no. Whereas, I'm naturally a helper. Let's do it. Let's go. Idea, a project, if it's feasible, if it can be done, we're going to try to make it happen. And now my approach is I can still do just differently. And it may not always get the same results that I would normally get quicker, faster, or even at all. I just want to show up with the same effort, with the same passion, regardless of the result.
Exactly. I think agree with you on that because I'm the same, that I'm going to show up. I have the same energy as I had before, but the outcome, my goal is excellence. My goal is always excellence, but...
Yeah, because what you mean? What you talking about?
Exactly.
Yeah, I got you.
But barring the confounders, like maybe my hands don't do what I need them to do right now, or maybe my arms don't do what I need them to do right now. Maybe, different things may not be happening for me right now. So the result will happen. My goal is excellence, but how I get there might not be the same as the way I used to get there. So that expectation of achieving excellence and how I get there, that's the expectation I had to release. I had to release that expectation. That's when I really learned that there's more than one way to get something done.
That's a good point. Does the outcome, is it a requirement that the outcome be excellent for you to be fulfilled?
That's a great question. When I say excellent, that's my goal.
Yeah.
My personal goal, not the people around me. Let me put that
Right.
Let me put that out there. I'm not saying you have to be, like, I don't hold my husband to a standard. You have to be excellent or I'm not going to stay married to you. You know, that's not what I'm saying.
But I want to work well. I want to do well.
Right. I want to do well. So to answer your question, what was your question again?
Does the result of whatever you're doing have to be excellent in order for it?
Wait, you're breaking up.
I am.
Say it again.
Does the result of whatever you're doing, is the outcome, is it a requirement that the outcome be excellent for you to still feel fulfillment?
Gotcha. The requirement, my goal is excellence. The outcome is not my decision. I leave the outcome is whoever gets it. They determine.
That's good.
They determine if it's excellent. My heart, my mind, my spirit, I am aiming for excellence. How it lands is not my decision. So
that's great.
I don't determine that. Just a small example. For example, if my husband, I did this one time. I know my husband loves breakfast. And so I got up before he went to work and I made breakfast for him. I made waffles for him. And I made the waffles and I put fruit on them and all that. And I made everything. Like I made the eggs. I mean, I did not, like, I used it because I wanted to be healthy and da-da-da. So I made these special waffles for him and I brought it to the bedroom for him to eat. And he thought, because I was like, wow, this is so, I finished and I brought it to him. And when I gave it to him, he said, I'm going to eat this. He was like, I'm not hungry because you have to know my husband to know how structured he is. He was like, I'm going to eat this because I know how much effort this took for you to do this. Because he didn't have to see me to know that it was exhausting for me to do that.
Jeez Louise.
It was exhausting for me to do that. But my heart was, I wanted to get up and do something special for my husband, something that he liked. I know that he loves waffles. So I'm going to make these waffles so he can have waffles and coffee before he goes to work. That was my heart. My goal was excellence. My mindset was, I want to do this because I love him. And when I brought it to him, how he received it was not on me after that. My heart was excellent. That's what I mean. But he was very grateful, and he said, I'm eating this because I'm not really that hungry, because he had a meeting and all that. And he was like, I know how much it took for you to do this. And by the way, it was good. He was like, I know how much you had to put yourself through to make this happen for me. That was an expectation that was not an expectation. That was an outcome I didn't anticipate him to say, but I had released it once I had done it. But I did it with excellence in mind. Your
approach is excellent. The outcome is up to them, how it's received. Right. You hope that it's received, but the excellence is in the doing, the approach, the effort.
Yes.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah, and then release yourself from the weight of any outcome.
Right. I can't handle all that. I can't hold all that. All I can control is me. And all I can control is how I think and how I approach things. And if I approach things with excellence, it's right at this point in my life, because I'm not young, I've always been like that. And so it's a normal thing for me. I think that I'm approaching things with excellence, and that's just the word that I hang on to. It's not a requirement, but that's how I operate. And I think when people know you, like you know me, I think when people know that's how you think, they know, like my husband, he said, I know how much effort that took for you to do, because he knew what I was thinking to even make it happen, because he knows my default is excellent.
Right.
Yes.
Do you still get upset when you can't do things?
Oh my gosh. Yes. Yeah. For example, I have just now, my husband's coming home from a trip, and I want to get the house nice and clean and orderly.
Right. Yeah.
And I made the bed, I'm washing dishes, blah, 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 blah. It drives me crazy that I cannot fold blankets so that they're neat. It drives me crazy because I'm like, look at all these curls. I hate this. Or it drives me crazy when I know I need to reach something and it's too high for me and it's not safe for me to get on a ladder. That drives me crazy. So, because it's like I want to, but I can't get there. So, yes, that drives me crazy. I mean, it sounds small, but that drives me nuts.
No, that's true. And I think,
What about you?
it took me a minute. Oh, yeah, definitely. Same. I think it took me some time to understand that just because you physically can't do it doesn't change your desire. Like your natural desire is still there.
Yes.
Your desire, you have to learn how to approach things differently. But your natural desire is still there, regardless. So I found myself just kind of in constant conflict with myself because I still want to do things the normal way, but I can't. And so that causes, some frustration and anger. Because what you mean? Like what is happening to me? So but it takes understanding to where for me, I'm not as upset anymore when I can't do it. I'm just like, can't do that. I'll try again later or try some other way. Well, now I'm at that point. But because what you mean? This is the way.
Right.
So I understand. I understand that completely.
Right. And it's just, and it's the minutia of life that you're like, and you said it. It's the frustration of I gotta learn a new way to do this. It's
exhausting.
Fun. It's exhausting. It's funny now because I'm thinking, I think that all day.
I'm not learning how to do what? No. I'm exhausted. I'm already tired. My balance is already. I'm trying to stay on 2 feet. I'm trying to walk. And now I have to learn how to redo all this stuff in different ways, everything. And I do, but I don't want to have time for that. Leave me alone,
You're mad. You're mad now.
I'm mad now, thinking about it. What you mean? I done figure out how to do this. I know how to do this well. And you mean to tell me I got to figure out another way just to get it done? Forget about it being well, just to do it, Good gracious. Now, something going to have to give.
Okay, we need to incorporate that into our podcast, the Tim rant. The Tim rant.
Yeah. Oh, there's gonna be rants.
Okay.
There's gonna be rants.
Hey, rant.
Yeah, there's gonna be a little rant about it because I know that this is how people are feeling out there.
Yes.
With this thing, because man, what you mean? So, but I'm not experiencing that so much now, and so I feel lighter. I feel in my emotions.
Yes.
Because I'm not as cynical, as dark as I can get. Yeah. Whenever I'm frustrated like that, I've learned to approach it in a more healthy
way. Perfect. Well, thank you so much to everyone who's listened to us today, who's taken this walk with us today. We appreciate you. We love you. We would like to invite you to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Share with as many people as you can. People living with MS, their family members, their friends, anybody who can find benefit from this. This is not just people who have MS. So thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.
Be well, guys.
This is On My Nerves, MS Unfiltered. This podcast is intended for informational purposes only. None of this information is intended for diagnostic or treatment purposes.
Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Be well, stay encouraged, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Are you serious?